So when it comes to fitness, I like to think that I know exactly what I'm talking about. I like to think that I could put a plan together and get to whatever my desired end state is. But I tell you what, Kevin over at 18 Alpha Fitness puts me to shame. If you're not familiar with who Kevin is, he is a retired Army officer, former 18 Echo, former 18 Alpha, owner of 18 Alpha Fitness, a company geared towards putting together fitness and mental programs together for inspiring Special Forces operators. He's on a similar path to the one that I'm currently on, which is helping you, the end user, get through whatever special operation selection that you decide to go through. So if you are serious about getting to the next level, then I urge you to check out Kevin over at 18 Alpha Fitness so you can prep, attend, and get selected. I appreciate you guys. Professional no more. What does that mean? So as a Green Beret, as a Special Forces operator, our mantra for the longest, and it still is to an extent, has been quiet professionals. Meaning we go out, we do work, we come back, there's no books, there's no movies, we're not on social media talking about it. We're satisfied knowing that we went out, we did our job, and that's satisfaction enough. However, I truly believe that that mantra, that motto has hurt us more than it has helped us. Why do I say that? Well, as I speak on camera today, recruiting for the Special Forces Regiment is at an all-time low. Guys are leaving at a faster pace than we can replace them. And I truly believe that if we want to replenish the regiment and get the right guys to it, we as former operators, as former Green Berets, need to do our part and get on social media so we can let the youth know how awesome this job is. That is one of the reasons why I got on social media to begin with, because I love the regiment so much that even though I'm no longer part of it, I still wanted to do my part to make sure that guys knew about it and eventually gravitate towards it. And as a mentor, I'll do my best to help them get there. Because what we need to also understand is, as we gravitate towards the future, technology isn't going away. And if we want to reach these new guys, if we want to reach these new recruits, we need to go where they're at. And that's the Facebook, the TikTok, the Instagram. That's where these guys are at. Word of mouth doesn't work anymore unless your father was a Green Beret or your grandfather was a Green Beret. That shit doesn't work anymore, guys. As Special Forces operators, as Green Berets, we need to recruit for the regiment so we can make sure that we don't become extinct. And it's pretty sad when we're sitting in a room full of CEOs, check writers that donate money to the armed forces because that's their way of serving, right? They don't want to, go boots on the ground and go fight wars. However, they have deep pockets to where they can write millions and $1 million worth of check and donate to the cause. But it's pretty sad when you're sitting in that room and CEOs and decision makers are having to ask people like, hey, could you tell me what you do as a Green Beret? Could you tell me what Special Forces is? I mean, I know, the SEALs, I know all these guys, but I'm not really familiar with who you guys are. And that's our own fault, right? Because the quiet professional mantra has beaten us into submission to where we're okay with staying in the shadows and slowly fading away. But as true competitors, I know that we won't let that happen, right? Because as Green Berets, we're competent, we're competitive, and we'll do whatever we need to do to make sure that that doesn't happen. So today I wanted to put together a episode, guys, titled 10 Separate Ways to Stand Out on Social Media. Because to be honest with you guys, when I embarked on that journey, I struggled with this a little bit, right? I didn't really know how to navigate that space, what my message should be, and how I should go about delivering it. I figured it out through trials and tribulations. So today I wanted to share this with you because I know there's Green Berets out there that are just chopping up the bits to do their part, to get on social media, share their stories, to hopefully inspire the next generation. With all that said, guys, if this is your first time watching me, my name is Jay. I'm a retired Green Beret out of 3rd Special Forces Group. Guys, the intent behind this channel is to share my knowledge and wisdom with the next generation. So if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to help me reach that goal. With that out of the way, let's jump right into these 10 things. Guys, the first thing I want to talk about, if you're going to be on social media, representing special operation, the number one thing that I want you to do is to ensure that you are physically fit. Now, as a special forces operator, we wear several different hats to the public. One of those hats is modern day superheroes. These guys and girls look at us as if we're Superman, as if we're Captain America, as if we're all these characters that are carved out of stone and we're supposed to uphold a certain look, supposed to look like a physical specimen. Because that's what they see us as. So when you get on camera and you look like a bag of dicks, all you're doing is disservice not only to yourself, but also to the regiment that you came from. These young men and these young women are looking at us, wanting to be us, wanting to travel the same path that we've traveled. Now, who wants to go through that path just to come out 20, 30 years later, in your 40s or late 50s and look like shit? Everything that you've learned throughout your years in service just goes to crap once you retire. So if being on social media, if inspiring, if coaching, if mentoring is the end state, make sure you look the part. So when you're giving somebody advice, they're not thinking twice about listening to what you're saying. The second thing that I would advise that you do as a special forces operator on social media is make sure that you are authentic in whatever it is that you're doing and that you're saying. Now, I've heard horror stories about influencers on social media that are tricking viewers by putting fake plates on the squat racks, by putting fake plates on the bench, or creating their own stories that's not actually true, just so they can get clicks and get followers. I'm here to tell you, guys are going to see right through that shit. If you're on social media and you're recruiting and you're portraying the armed services, then you need to make sure that you're authentic in whatever it is that you're saying. You need to share the entire story. Share the good, the bad, the ugly. Don't sugarcoat anything. Folks will respect you a lot more for it, and your following will grow because they know whoever it is that they're listening to is a authentic guy who's going to tell them the truth regardless of what the backlash might be. Number 3, guys, is you want to make sure you stay true to your message. Whatever the message is, whatever the reason why you got on social media, you need to make sure you stay true to that message. For example, our message here on Beret Chronicles is to inspire the next generation by sharing and by coaching and by mentoring. I need to make sure that I stay true to that, whatever that looks like. Whether that's working out and looking the part, whether it's doing my research and inspiring and coaching and answering questions to make sure guys get to the regiment. I need to make sure that I tell whoever's following me the truth at all times. I need to make sure that I am accomplishing that end state. And the minute that I start to deviate from that, I need to make sure that I tell my viewers, hey, we were doing X, Y, and Z on this channel. However, we're switching it up and now we're doing X, Y, and Z, and this is why. Number 4 is you need to make sure you choose the right people to collaborate with. Whoever you choose to go on camera with, guys, you need to make sure that they are either in the same mindset or they are working towards the same end state as you are. Like over here at Beret Chronicles, guys, I collaborate with F&G Academy because they have a similar mission. I just had a chance to sit down with One Ready the other day. We did a podcast together. Again, awesome dudes from the Air Force, similar mission, and overall just solid dudes. You need to be mindful not to just sit down with whoever just so you can get exposure. Not all publicity is good publicity. Number 5 is responsibility. So you need to understand that as a special forces operator, that you have a responsibility to your audience. Nowadays, these young men and women, they are lacking a leader in their lives. They're lacking that father figure. They're lacking that individual that's going to inspire them. So if we step in trying to fill that shoes, we need to understand that we have a responsibility to these young men and women, and we need to ensure that we're putting out the right message. We can't be on social media acting like freaking fools, knowing that these young kids are watching us thinking that that's correct. So if you choose to go down that path, you need to make sure you look yourself in the mirror and make sure that you're ready for that role, for that responsibility. Countless time now, I've been out in public and dudes will come up to me and be like, hey, yo, what's going on, Jay? I watched your last video, man. I love you. I follow you. Thank you for what you're doing. And that makes me feel good because that lets me know that I'm doing something right. And if you choose to go down that route, I'm telling you that these guys will listen to you and they will hold on to your every word. So make sure you speak very, very carefully. Number 6, you got to make sure you have thick skin. I personally like to go down and read the comments that are left behind and do my best to respond to whatever you, the audience, are commenting on. That's just something that I choose to do to stay engaged with you guys. But there's been times where there's been messed up comments on there, right? Whether it's about the hat, that's been through some things, or whether you guys didn't really vibe with the message that I was putting out for that particular video. I understand that. I understand that's just part of what this social media thing is. So I take it with a grain of salt, I provide my feedback, and then I keep it moving. I can't let those things discourage me and deviate me from the end state of making sure you guys stay informed so you can go throughout your life and become an SF guy if you choose to do so, all right? That just comes with the territory, guys. Moving on to number 7, guys, you need to make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're going to be doing on social media. As a Special Forces influencer, what is your end state? Are you trying to entertain? And if so, why? Are you trying to educate? If so, why? You need to figure that out, because that'll help you come up with a plan so you can execute and get to the end state. Number 8, guys, you have to stay grounded and you have to stay humble. As your channel grow, as your presence on social media start to grow, guys, there's a lot of things that can affect who you are as a person. There's going to be a lot of temptations out there. It's similar to going from being a regular Army guy to a Special Forces guy. You're on a different tier. Now you have all these outside distraction that has the ability to throw you off your game. That's when your non-negotiables come into place. That's when you stay grounded and say, no, this isn't why I got into this social media space. I'm here to accomplish a mission, and I'm not going to let anything deviate me from that. Number 9, guys, while you guys are on here coaching, teaching, inspiring, doing whatever it is that you guys are doing, make sure that you're not violating OPSEC or anything of that sort that's going to affect your brothers in arms in a negative light or put them in harm's way. Last but not least, guys, you need to make sure you stay true to yourself and your message. You need to put the bottom line up front. Hey, this is who I am, this is who I stand for, and it's not going to change. You have to have your own opinion and be able to support it when push comes to shove, right? If something bothers you and you think it's right to state, hey, this bothers me because of X, Y, and Z, I feel strongly about this, don't let anybody sway you. Don't let social media sway you, because every time something gets hard or every time somebody disagrees with you, it's going to try to sway you in what you believe in. Over here, you guys know that I feel a certain way about Navy SEALs. That blowback or that feedback that I've been getting from it hasn't really changed my fucking mind, right? Because this is my experiences, what I've seen. So just because people on social media don't agree with it, that's their freaking prerogative. That doesn't mean Jay's, wishy-washy and just flip-flopping back and forth based on how people feel out there. I can care less about that. I'm here to deliver a message, and I'm going to stick to it because that's what I believe in, based on my experience. I'll sit down and speak to whoever about it. I'll hear their feedback. They'll hear mine. And at the end of the day, we'll agree to disagree, and they can go about their business. Right? But I've seen a lot of guys lose their way in this social media space and not really recognize who they are, right? Because they're so engulfed in all the bullshit that's going on. So if you choose to go on that journey, make sure that's not you. If you have any other tips, guys, for anybody that is looking at coming into this space or is currently in this space, leave it in the comment section below, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to do something a tad bit different today because I know whenever I was getting ready to embark on this journey, I had some issues. So I'm hoping that this video serves somebody out there in one way, shape, or form. And if not, motivate somebody to jump on here and follow into my footsteps, just like I did with those that came before me, to hopefully inspire the next generation. I appreciate you guys watching this. And until next time, take care of yourself.